Let's add a custom villager profession to our Minecraft mod. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, we are ourselves in IntelliJ once more, and in this tutorial, we're going to add a custom villager profession to our Minecraft mod. Now, this is more involved than you might think, because it's a whole mess of data gen that they've done in this craziness. It kind of makes sense, but it's still a lot of things to do, because crazily enough, we're actually going to start in our mod tags class. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but it is indeed true. Now, I'll be copying over a couple of things. You probably have seen, basically we've shown this, how this works, right? And generally speaking here, for the trades, we need 2 new tags of villager trades. As always, all of the code is available to you down below, so you can of course double check it there as well. And here we're just making tag keys of villager trades. The idea here being, these are the exact same types of tags that we've seen in our villager trades over here, where we had the farmer level 1, farmer level 2, and things like that. And now we have them for the Kaupenjoe as well. Kaupenjoe level 2 and 1 and level 2. Pretty cool. How all of this fits together, I will explain in a second. But first of all, we need the trade set, and we'll also make the poi tags. So this is going to be, once again, data gen villager package, where we're going to make the mod trade sets class over here, and we'll also make the mod poi tags, which we're going to need in a second. But first of all, the trade sets. What is a trade set? Well, the idea is the following. The mod tag, or the tag of villager trade, right? Kaupenjoe level 1. This is a list of every single villager trade that this particular profession, so the Kaupenjoe, at level 1 can have. This is all of them, right? If you add 100 different trades, then this has 100 different trades. While a trade set is the actual, usually 2 trades that are going to be present here. For this, we're going to actually copy over the helper methods. The reason is because they look like it's absolutely insane. But you can see here, we actually have a constant value of 2, and that is exactly the thing, which is the number provider that we have over here. This is the amount of trades inside of this particular set. So you can, in theory, also increase this or add this as a new parameter over here and change this, and then have your custom villager maybe only have 1 trade per trade set. Or for example, the wandering trader have even more, right? I think the wandering trader has 6 or 8, or I don't even know how many. But the idea being, you could change this in theory, and a trade set, like I said, is the actual trades showing up when you right click a villager. For this, we're going to have 2 resource keys. So this is the trade set for the Kaupenjoe level 1 and Kaupenjoe level 2. And those are done like this. Once again, I'm just going to copy over the method here because it really isn't complicated. There's no need to type this out. It's another bootstrap method, as we've seen previously, where we call the register method from down below, pass in the context, then the resource key, and then we combine this with the trades. So the idea is we're saying, hey, so this is going to be our trade set. So we right click, it generates a trade set from this tag right here. So this is all of the different trades that it can have, and this is the current traits that it has, the instance of that particular villager, right? This is you right click it, it has chosen, or it just got its villager profession, and then this is the trait set that it shows. That's the idea here. And then we can move on to actually registering our villager. So that's going to happen in the tutorial mod package with a new package called villager. And inside of there, we'll make a new Java class called the mod villagers class. And this one is going to be a doozy again. So that we're going to need a public static void register method over here with the following. We're going to have the tutorial mod.logger info and registering mod villagers for tutorial mod.modID. Once again, the logger here is not strictly necessary. However, I do like to add it. And then here we can call this mod villagers.register, and there we go. Now, we're not actually only going to register a villager profession right here. We'll also register the poi type key, the poi type, as well as the resource key for it. So we're going to have a public static final resource key of type poi type. I'll explain exactly what that is in a second. Let's finish this basically first. As always, of course, the code is also available to you down below. Resource key create, and this is registries.pointOfInterest type, and then an identifier from namespace and path, and that's going to be the Kaupen_poi here in this case. Then we have the actual poi type. So this is just the resource key, and then we have the poi type, which which we're going to register in the following way. This is a poi type over here, Kaupen_poi equal to the poi helper dot register with an identifier from namespace and path. It's going to be tutorial.mod.id, and it's going to be the Kaupen_poi. There we go. And then the second parameter is the ticket count, then the search distance, and then the blocks. Once again, I'll explain this in just a second. We're going to do the magic block right here, and there we go. So what do we have with our pois over here? So a poi is a point of interest, and point of interest for villagers specifically is how they get their villager professions. So you, for example, set down a lectern, and what is the villager to do? But just go to the lectern and all of a sudden become a librarian. Very interesting. Now that is a poi type, a point of interest. I highly recommend you check out the poi types class over here, as it has all of the different poi types, as you can see, for armorer, butcher, and so on and so forth, which is first of all very interesting. But second of all, at the bottom in the bootstrap method, you can also see the block states for each of the different blocks right here. And this is super important because if a block has a point of interest already registered on it, so for example, a lot of people want to add, for example, like beekeeper villagers, and they're like, oh, let's just use the beehive or the bee nest as a point of interest. That does not work because it already is a point of interest, and a particular block can only be one point of interest. And you can see this has 0 max tickets, meaning the max tickets is how many different jobs can be taken from this particular location. It's not 100% like jobs, because obviously the bell over here has 32 tickets, and the bell doesn't really give out jobs, but you know, just as an idea here in this case. Highly recommended to check this out if you're interested in more stuff like that. And next up is registering the villager profession. For this, we're going to make a helper method. Now I'm actually going to copy this over as it's like a little bit longer, but I will explain, of course, everything that is in there. Here, also an important point. Right now, we're like semi-hard coding a couple of things in the villager profession, meaning that we're basically always making a literal of the title. So this is always a literal component. And then here, the 2 immutable sets, which I'll explain in a second, those are always just empty. The rest over here can be determined by the parameters of the register villager profession method. You can, of course, overload this method and in theory add the other ones as well. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. It should be trivial for you to do that as well. With the villager profession here, though, the idea is as follows. Let's go to the villager profession record right here, and we can see that the different ones are obviously, first of all, we get the name. So this is the name of the villager profession. Then a held job site. The first predicate is basically saying, hey, is this point of interest a point of interest that I can like hold my job, and can I also get my job there? So the idea is we're checking, hey, is the holder equal to the poi that we're giving it right here, and the resource key that we're going to give it is the Kaupenjoe key. That's the idea. Then we have a work sound, should be fairly self-explanatory. And finally, this crazy int to object map is just the trades. You're going to see that and you're going to say, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That is not too insane. The 2 immutable sets are actually the following. You can see those are requested items and secondary pois. Those do not always have to be filled out. So requested items would be, for example, for the farmer, if we go down here, we can actually see all of the different ones. The farmer here has wheat seeds, beetroot, and bone meal. And then also they have a secondary poi, which is the farmland. So they work on farmland. That's the idea of the farmer here in this case. So that's where all of that comes from. And now to register the custom villager profession, this is going to be a public static final villager profession. This is the Kaupenjoe equal to the register villager profession. The name is going to be Kaupenjoe lowercase. And then the second one is the Kaupenjoe uppercase. And then we have the Kaupenjoe key. And then we're going to do sound events dot. Let's do the amethyst resonate. Maybe that's a little bit too, like, not enough. Amethyst cluster place. Sure, why not? And then we have the int to object map here of entries. And the entries look like this. It's going to be an int to object map entry of 1, and then mod trade sets dot Kaupenjoe level 1, comma, and then the second one is going to be for the 2. So this is going to be 2. There we go. So the idea is that here we're defining the different trade sets that it basically unlocks with each different level. So if it's level 1, well, then we see the Kaupenjoe level 1 trade set. And if it's 2, well, then we're going to unlock the trade set of level 2. That's the whole idea here. But do not worry, we're not done quite yet, because the custom Kaupenjoe over here does not yet have its own trades. For this, once again, I will just be copying over the trades because I do think that it makes sense. Generally speaking, we have seen this previously, so we just have a couple of resource keys right here, and then what we do is we just have this. Bada bing, bada boom. Now the only thing is that the chair doesn't exist because instead we have a pedestal block right here. But that's totally fine. We can just replace the name over here with pedestal, and of course the name right here as well. So this is the emerald pedestal. There we go. And you can see it's the same idea as we've seen previously. So nothing crazy going on, except of course I have added an accidental closing curly bracket that can happen from time to time. But there we go. That's the different trades. And now that we have those trades, we of course also need to register them via the tag. This is why we already added the tags at the very beginning, and that is going to be let's actually just duplicate this. I think that actually is easier. Here in this case, that's going to be our custom one. So this is the mod tags.trades.Kaupenjoe level 1. And then this is mod villager trades.Kaupenjoe 1 emerald fluorite. And we can duplicate that one as well for the Kaupenjoe emerald raw fluorite over here. Duplicate for level 2 right here. And then this is going to be the Kaupenjoe at 2 with the pedestal and the Kaupenjoe 2 with the specter staff. Absolutely fantastic. Hold your horses. We of course still need the poi tag over here. Okay. Don't think that this is just, this isn't my first rodeo over here. It's quite a few things. Now, the poi tag is needed so that the Kaupenjoe or the villager itself can even get themselves the job, because we need to add our custom poi to the acquirable job site. This is going to extend the fabric tags provider of type poi type right here, of poi type, very important, not poi type tags. That would be redundant in this case. Let's hover over this to implement the tags method. Hover over this again, create constructor matching super. We don't need the Java docs over here. We can also delete the registry key, because we know the registry key, that is going to be registries.villager, not villager trade. It's actually poi point of interest type. Exactly. And in the add tags, we're going to call get or create raw builder, poi type tags.acquirable job site, adding the tag entry of element of mod villagers.kaupen poi underscore key.identifier. Boom, boom, and boom. And that's going to add the tag so that the villager actually will go to the magic block and get themselves the Kaupenjoe profession. Right, now having added all of this, we go to the data generators to first of all add the pack. So this is pack add provider, mod villager trade tags. Nope, this is the mod poi tags : new, because the trade tags we already have. Inside of the registry set builder, we're also going to add the trade sets. So this is a trade set, mod trade sets : bootstrap. We then need to do the same thing in the registry right here. So this is going to be villager trade sets right here. So villager trade last time, and this time the trade set. And that is all of the code, meaning finally the last thing is the translation. Or broadly speaking, the assets here: entity, Minecraft villager, tutorial mode, Kaupenjoe, and then the textures are the following, or the texture is under textures entity, and then inside of the entity we need another directory over here called villager, and then inside of there another new directory called profession, making sure we write this correctly with 1 F and 2 S, and that is where the Kaupenjoe PNG goes. Of course, also available to you down below for download, so no worries there at all. Absolutely fantastic. And with that, we have done it. Let's run the data gen over here, and once that is through, well, then we can jump into the game and if it works, let's see. All right, finally back in Minecraft. As you can see, the Kaupenjoe has been successfully added to the game. I don't know why they don't take the new one, but that's okay. Let's do this. There we go. We got ourselves some Kaupenjoes. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, if I get some emeralds over here, bada bling, bada boom. There you go. Get myself some raw fluorite, and then updates, and boom. There we go. We can even get ourselves a specter staff or a pedestal. Absolutely fantastic. And that is a custom villager over here and a villager profession added to Minecraft. Nice. As always, all of the code is available to you down below. And for this tutorial, definitely need it more than ever. But that's going to be it for this tutorial right here. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to all the support on Patreon and on YouTube. Don't forget, if you join as a Stonebricks member on YouTube, you can get up to 14 days of early access, including this video right here. We'll make custom keybinds. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.